Hey everyone, Scott here to discuss Pulp Fiction, starring John Travolta, Samuel L. Motherfucking Jackson, Uma Thurman, Bing Rames, Tim Roth, Eric Stoltz, and Bruce Willis, and directed by Quentin Tarantino. Now, this is the movie I remember seeing for the first time, and I think 2003, 2004, I can't remember off the top of my head, but and how did I like it then? I mean, it was different, I'll say that much, but do I like it now? Let's get into it. The movie starts off non-chronological, with Pumpkin, played by Tim Roth, and Honey Bunny, played by Amanda Plummer, who's just fucking creepy in real life, having a cup of coffee in a diner, and I like this scene, and it will pay off at the end of the movie. While on the opening credits, who do we see as an executive producer? Danny DeVito, who he lightened up the movie Dumbo recently, and he may be the best thing about that movie, but I'm a fan of Danny DeVito. He makes me laugh every fucking time, and I like seeing his name on a movie, especially when he stars, produces it, that kind of thing. Vincent Vega, played with a bang by John Travolta, and Jules Winfield, played by Samuel L. Motherfucking Jackson, talks about the metric system of what they call a quarter pound of a cheese in Paris called Royale with cheese and La Big Mac from McDonald's. And I love these two characters, and I love their story the most because Samuel motherfucking Jackson, and it's funny. And they go upstairs in an apartment with three guys, Brett, Marvin, played by Phil Lamar, who I'll bring up later, and an unknown person, while they have hamburgers from a Hawaiian burger called Big Kahuna for breakfast, which that would be a cold stone of any nutritious breakfast. And I love the way Sam Jackson asks where the briefcase is, and Marvin responds, and Joel says, "I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing." And as Brett talks about how things got so fucked up with Marcellus Wallace, and Sam Jackson shoots the ground and randomly asks what Mr. Wallace looks like, and Brett says "what" repeatedly, and Jules asks him what a country, and he dares to say "what" one more motherfucking time. And I got a kick out of that scene as Jules talks about the Bible, and he with Vincent shoots his ass up. It's hilarious. We see Marcellus Wallace, played by Bing Rames, monologuing Butch Coolidge, played by Bruce Willis, and he tells Butch in the 5th round of boxing, because Butch is a boxer, his ass goes down. And Vincent and Jules arrive, and I like the stare down between Vincent and Butch so they can prove who's tougher. These two actors pull it off very well. Vincent buys cocaine from Lance, played by Eric Stoltz, is a funny character, and his wife Jody, played by Rosanna Arquette, and the Vincent taking Mia Wallace, aka Marcellus Wallace's wife, played by Uma Thurman, who I'll talk more about in Kill Bill, but here she pulls off a mobster's wife very well. That thing she does with the fucking square, like, don't be a square, was honestly unnecessary for me. I do like the scene inside the restaurant as we get a cameo of Steve Buscemi as Buddy Holly, and I watched this movie so many times, and I never recognized him. Maybe it's the hairdo he has. Travolta and Thurman have such good chemistry until they've got back together in a movie called Be Cool. And that, by the way, folks, was a terrible fucking movie. Just terrible. Don't see it in general. But I like she acted in a TV show called Fox Force 5 that was never picked up after one show. I thought that's a good dialogue by Mr. Tarantino, as he won the Oscar with Roger Avery and casted very well. I also love the dance scene between Vincent and Mia. It's a classic scene in which luckily they win the trophy for. Vincent goes to the bathroom while Mia is putting cocaine in her nose and gets drug overdose. And Vincent can't help but take her to Lance, who has a medical book. And Vincent puts a needle in Mia's heart. And I love that scene. And how that situation turned out, fucking hilarious, I might say. But it was like inappropriate hilarious, I must say. We move on to Butch and the Watch story, which is my least favorite story because, first of all, we get Christopher Walken playing Captain Coons, who served with his father in the war, and gives him the watch, which belonged to his father before he died. Butch wakes up, and punches out another boxer and kills him off screen. And Marcellus and Vincent try to find Butch. And this isn't working for me because in this story, I don't care for Butch as a character in general. Because he's a runaway boxer, and I'm not here to watch another Rocky / Runaway Bride. I also don't like his wife as a character, as she kind of bugs me as she forgets about the watch at the apartment, and he gets it from his apartment, and I like how quiet that scene is until Butch shoots Vincent. After he takes a dump, not Butch, but Vincent. And what is it with Vincent and going to the bathroom? It's kind of making me crazy, which was kind of funny. And Butch drives away, and I love the way he runs into Marcellus, and Marcellus' reaction was, "Motherfucker!" Cracked me up. Butch runs his ass over, which was funny in an odd kind of way. Marcellus chases Butch in a pawn shop owned by a raper and calls up Zed, and he rapes Marcellus, which was horrifying. And I love how Marcellus shoots the raper, and he says a very funny line, I'm gonna get medieval on your ass, as he tells Butch as his LA privileges are over, and he takes off with Zed's chopper as a motorcycle, and Butch says a funny rhyming line, Zed's dead. That again cracked me up. That story was kind of boring, as at times it was pretty fucking hilarious. We go back to the story with Vincent and Jules. They shoot Brett and continue from and we see Marvin freak out. And I'm gonna mention Phil Lamar. I have his autograph on my Blu-ray here. Here, let me show you in a minute. I love his autograph. I have his of this movie, and he was a very nice guy, and I have a photo with him, which I won't show you guys, but which was cool. Suddenly, another random guy shoots Jules and Vincent, which was just motherfucking hysterical. And get a closer look. It's Phil Lamar's autograph. Don't wear it out. And let's move on. While in the car, Vincent accidentally shoots Marvin in the face, and I have Jules, and I love Jules' reaction as the car didn't hit no motherfucking bump, and calls his friend Jimmy, played by Quentin Tarantino, to use his garage, and calls up Marcellus, and he sends Winston the Wolf, played by Harvey Keitel. And yes, that's his name. I'm sorry, I had to say it like that. Who's there to clean up a mess. And I love the Wolf, but I don't think Mr. Tarantino is a very good actor. There's a lot of funny lines. For example, I'm a mushroom cloud laying motherfucker. That one is my favorite line from Samuel motherfucking Jackson. While Jimmy worries about his wife, Bonnie, coming home from a graveyard shift at the hospital. The Wolf gets Vincent and Jules strip down to the bare ass and cleans up the mess on their skin up and dresses them funny and drops them in the car of Joe's garage. And Jules and Vincent go to a diner and have breakfast together until we connect with Pumpkin and Honey Buddy. Robbing the diner, and Jules holds Pumpkin, and Vincent comes out of the bathroom, and he's got Honey Buddy, and Jules buys Pumpkin's life for $1,500. My goodness gracious. And lets them both go, and the diner was a good opening as it was a good ending. Now it's time for the rating. I'll give this movie a 8.8 out of 10. I watched this movie quite a bit, and I laugh every single fucking time, and it's not quite as good as Reservoir Dogs. And the story with Butch is funny, but is not that great. I do think this dialogue is hysterical. I will watch this again in my future. So we'll be back next week with 4 different directors' movies, plus Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez, working together for the first time in a movie called 4 Rooms. And I will be back to talk to you about that then, and until next time, and action.